Okay, now we are recording. Okay, guys. So, welcome to the crew's Candid Chat. That's kind of the name that we decided to do these meetings. And believe it or not, Alex came up with that name. Tara and I were like banging our heads against the wall trying to think of different names, running through all these different names. Yeah, thank you, honey. You guys hear him screaming, "You're welcome."
Yeah.
And then he said it, and I was like, "Oh, I like that. I like the sound of it." So yeah, that's why I get paid the big bucks. Exactly. So before I hand it over to Christina, I just wanted to tell everyone that's on this call right now, I wanted to thank you all because your engagement with everything, with getting on the calls, with your posts, with the business, with your calls with me, that, you know, you stick to all of that, and your engagement and your drive, it inspires me more, and it keeps me motivated, and it keeps me pushed with everything, with the business, with my journey, with everything. So I wanted to thank all of you guys for your passion with the business also, because that keeps my passion alive. Because
Okay.
like I say all the time, you know, you are with who you surround yourself. So a lot of times when people start feeling like the negativity of the business, and or they don't have the passion, and that's who you're surrounding yourself with, you find that you start to lose that. So I love the fact that, you know, the five of us have that passion. We have that fire inside. Like, we want this to be what we do, and this is all we want to do. And I love that we have this group of us that's our goal. We all have that same goal, and we're all striving for that same thing. So I wanted to thank you guys, because it helps keep me motivated and passionate. But I also wanted to tell you guys that I think you guys are doing a great job. You do a great job on sharing your journey. You do a great job because you guys share the same things. Obviously, we all share the same things. We share our shakes. We share our food. We share our fitness. But I love watching the different ways that we all share it, because it's all coming from a different mindset, because we're all moms, but we like our workouts because of different reasons. So we're sharing different journeys, even though we're all sharing the same thing. So I love the way that you guys share it. I love the way Christina uses her emojis. I've put a few more emojis in my post, because I love the way it looks when she throws out her emojis in there, you know? So I just wanted to tell everybody, hi Al, I just wanted to tell everybody on this call that you guys are doing a really, really great job in sharing your journey, in sharing your life. And you do it unapologetically, which is a great thing. And you all are doing it being true to who you are. Like the way Tara goes live. My favorite live was when she started singing, "I feel good." That was my favorite one, because it showed everybody the Tara that we all know. It showed her goofy side and her funny side. And Michelle, being that she's just starting in this journey, and she's already helped so many people, and she has people interested, it just shows that she's being true to who she is. And it just shows that people believe in her, because she's saying a product that works for her. She's saying things that work well for her, and people, they trust her. And they're like, okay, if this is working for her and she likes it, I'm going to try this. So you're doing great so far, Michelle, and the way that you're sharing things, and the way that you have that desire to really learn everything, because we've talked a lot through Messenger. It's great. Keep that desire open, because you will constantly, I'm 5 years in and I'm still learning stuff. You're always going to be learning something. So I just wanted to tell you that you're doing a really good job.
Thank you.
But I am going to hand over our little crew chat to Christina, who wants to talk to us about consistency. And what I've been doing, if anybody that's on the call, or anyone that's listening to the recording of the call, that has a topic that you would like to share with the team, maybe something that you found a shift either just in your journey or in your journey of the business or anything like that. If you found some sort of a shift that has happened that you want to share because you feel that it can help someone else, I would love for you guys to reach out to me to share that. It doesn't matter if you just started and you've already found something that has worked for you. I would love for you to share it. That's what these calls are going to be about. Don't want to do the slides. I might do them sometimes, but I don't want to do them as much, because I find that we have so much more passion on these calls, and so much more like nuggets of good information when we just have our chat part of the call. I feel like when I go through the slides, I'm being redundant because I've already posted the updates. I've already done all my shout outs on my page, on the team page. So I just want us to have all the time to talk and to hear from each other and to get all the information we can to learn from each other so we can all grow together. So I'm going to mute myself, and Christina, you can unmute, and we're going to hear from Christina talk about her consistency. She's been great with that, so this is a perfect topic to listen to from her.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So I must say that when Tanya approached me about this maybe a couple weeks ago, I literally texted her and said, me, because when I think about these calls or people talking, I think 8-star diamond, 2-star diamond, elite, like these top level coaches. And especially with consistency, because that's been something I struggle with. And I think a lot of us struggle with it still. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what I've done lately that I think the biggest thing for me, I think that helped me hit Success Club last month that I hadn't hit in a while, and just getting more people on my network and more people on my likes and engaging in my posts. But a little bit about me without going into my whole story, but maybe just about how I became a coach, and this kind of goes with consistency, is I started doing the workouts maybe about 4 years ago, actually. And my husband and I started with P90X and a downloaded copy at the time. And we just kind of did the workouts. We followed the program, and, at the end, I'd always see these Shakeology, infomercials. Not thinking anything above it or about it. Went on and got the free membership on the website. Never heard from my coach, never. I still don't even know who he is. And then finished that program, jumped to the next. We went to Insanity and then did that program. Again, downloaded a copy and did it. And then again, always seeing the Shakeology infomercials at the end of the program. And it wasn't until a friend of mine posted a packet of her Shakeology sampler on Facebook and said, lunch today. And I sent her a message and I said, oh, how is it? Is it any good? And she said, oh, talk to Tanya. And she tagged her in the post. And then, I said, asked her about price. Is it expensive? And that's when Tanya reached out to me. And I think that was about 2 years ago, maybe 3 almost now. So Tanya reached out to me at first, and then I did get the sampler. I bought, 5 packs off of her, and met her at the time you were still working at the insurance in the office. So I met you at the office and met you there and got the packs. And I liked them, I liked the packs. I liked the shakes. And I think I started the order with them, my HD order at that time. But it kind of was an off thing. I stopped because of the finances, and then I kind of disappeared for a while. And Tanya would still message me, and she'd be like, hey girl, haven't heard from you in a while, and I'd ignore her. And then again, hey girl, how are you? Okay, this was me. This time I'm ready, I'm ordering, send me the info Friday. Okay, Friday would come, hey girl, how are you? I'd ignore her. So it was just, at that time, and she just continued to message me, and I just continued to kind of blow her off. And it wasn't until my husband, I guess, was finally fed up. I never forget, it was after the holidays, we put on weight, and the Master Hammer and Chisel program came out. And it was finally a program that my husband wanted to get on board with. And when he got on board, I was like, all right, we're doing it. So then the roles reversed to where I was reaching out to Tanya, and I was like, okay, we're ready. I'm serious this time. We're signing up, we're doing this, we're starting Hammer and Chisel. But I run everything under Al, because at that time when I was a coach, and just so you know, so if you have people that go through this, when they become inactive, if they don't cancel their membership, then when they want to become active again, Beachbody wanted me to go back and pay all the months of the business fees, or all the months that I did not pay for. So it was a ridiculous amount of money for me to start my coaching. They wanted, I think it was $300. It was something crazy, because I remember I just accounts. Can't officially canceled my account, and then we wanted to start right away, so that's why we signed up through Al. So that's why a lot of the things I do through Al's business and through Al's coaching. But we work it together, so we're kind of like a tag team here. But I share that because if Tanya hadn't continued to message me, I probably would have either done two things. I probably would have just continued to do the journey on my own underneath that coach that I had no idea who he was, and gave him all, like, now I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, all the you know, like benefits he got from me, and I never even knew him, you know. But I probably would have continued that, or somebody else probably would have came along and, you know, swept me up, and then I would be who knows where. So, you know, that was just one of the things that I always remember, because my story is I was that no person, like no way. And then when she signed me up, again, you know, she put me as a coach. And again, I was like, no, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't want to be a coach. I don't want to do this. And she's like, just do it for the discount. So, so that's how I ended up here, kind of in a nutshell. But consistency is really important. I think showing up every day, and I struggle with that, especially now. Like the summer, it's great because I'm a teacher. I'm off. I have, you know, my whole day. I'm, you know, really good about it. Going back to work now, it's something that I really have realized that I need to put more effort into and make sure that I stay more on track of. Because my aha moment, a lot of people you hear talk about, like the moment that changed them is Summit. And my moment was Summit too, but in a different way. The moment that I realized I had a ticket to Summit paid for, and then I couldn't go because of finances. It wasn't even because of my husband losing his job. It wasn't even like, that wasn't even my moment of, oh, I have this business, I can make money and help the family. It wasn't even that. It was the fact that both my husband and I you know, I'm missing out and on something that I really, really, really wanted to be a part of. Almost the whole team was there. You know, when then the years passed, it's just been a couple of people. So it was just the year that I was like, oh, you know, okay, I'm not letting this happen again. And I just, from the summer, like I'd always kind of done the business and like sent messages here and there. But I think this summer is like when I woke up and I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm tired of just being in the back corner now. And I want to make this a full-time thing. So my Summit story is a little bit different because I wasn't there. But what I've just been trying to do is be consistent. One, we'll say, obviously be consistent with your workouts. So make sure that you follow a program. That's what I always do. Like I never jump, this is just for me personally. I always pick a program and I stick with it. It's just what works for me. That way I'm saying what program I am doing, like I'm showing that the program works, that it, has benefits for me, and that it's worked for me. So I pick a program. I have never gone without my shakes. So I think in December I'll be 2 years. So I'm looking forward to my canister. So I drink my shakes every day. Obviously, I've changed my posting, and I think Tanya talked about this a little bit about how we share our posts now. I don't come up, if you notice, I don't like talk and say the product name anymore. I don't even say the program name. I've caught myself a couple of times in my live videos where I'm like, I'm doing shift for the 21-day program. And, because I want people to know that there's a value in us, because, I was that person that I would just Google, I think when people hear coaches, they get scared of that word. So they just don't want anybody bothering them. So Googled it, bought it, did it on my own. But I want people to see the value in having a support team, because that's obviously what's kept me on track a lot of the times. So just be proof of the product, which I know a lot of us that are on this call right now are really good at. So that's what I do. One of the things I think that changed for me and that really brought people in is when I kind of just had my, and Tara's probably gonna yell at me, but my F it moment, because I don't want to curse. I know there's little ears around, but when I said, like I kind of just said, F it, who cares? Like, I'm putting myself out there. I've learned to kind of not really care what other people think. Whoever's going to follow me can follow me. Whoever chooses not to follow me can go. And I think when I always hashtag it like belly out. I think when I've started just showing myself and not trying to do these great, or, that I'm like, I can actually see my core, or like all these crazy things that I think we try to do. I think when I got attention of people more, because one of the things that I know, especially for me, is I can't relate to somebody like an Autumn who has like a perfect body or has like this whole thing, because, to me, that's not kind of like who I am. I'm that mom that struggles. I'm, the person that was really overweight and has the skin, the extra skin that I don't know if I'll ever be able to lose. I'm the person that likes to eat food and drink wine, like that's me. So I know that I can't relate to somebody that in my eyes, like I feel like has it all together, because I don't have it all together all the time. So I've just shared more about my struggles, more about my transformation stories of where I was in the past. Definitely, I think I would share that every once in a while, but I wouldn't share it often. Now I try to share it at least once a week. And it doesn't have to be like a physical before and after, but it could just be anything. It could be a before and after of a program. And it doesn't even have to be a program that you're doing right now. Like if you did like 21 Day Fix in the past, like show that before and after from when you did that program. Like be real about it and say, like, even with me, when I did Core de Force and we stuck to it, I had amazing results. And then I got off the program, and then, I didn't really follow the nutrition to the T, and I went back. So share that, like, be like, this is what I looked like before, and I want to get back there. Just be real about it, own up to it. I've shared transformations just about, my mental state, I guess, like PD, how that's helped me, how, things I struggled with in the past, and how that has, like helped me now to where I am. Transformation, one thing that I'm trying to work on, and I haven't really found out how to do it yet, is the coaching, like, opportunity. I just posted the other day about, how I lived paycheck to paycheck, and like how I'm, now I am made enough last month to get 3 bags of Shakeology for free. And that's a transformation, like that's before I wasn't able to do that. So I think just posting at least once a week, because if you're adding to your network all the time, you're going to have people that don't know your story. So you want to share that consistently with your followers. And you know what, if people get tired of hearing it, then oh well, because those people are not the people you're going to want with you anyway. You're going to want the people that continuously want to hear your story, or somebody like me, maybe they're listening to your story, but they're not interacting with you, but they're listening, they're getting it, and they're thinking about it. So, be consistent with sharing your story, being true to yourself, being who you are. Definitely your vital behaviors, of course. And one thing I've tried to be more consistent with also are just showing more appreciation for my team. I think, for me, I work well with people that are constantly supporting you, even, in your lowest times. And if you have somebody that maybe hasn't done a program, but they did it for the first time, give them a shout out. Hey, so-and-so's had like a really hard time, just show them appreciation for a small thing. That's one thing that I've definitely been trying to be better about. But going back to what I said about my story, or just sharing, and I know I've said this to you guys before, but we always think that nobody's watching. So, I mean, I know there's all kinds of algorithms about the best times to post and when to post and things like that. And I've kind of tried to follow them, but sometimes you just have something you want to say and you want to share. Just share it. Like, it doesn't matter if it's like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, or like whenever it is, just share whatever post you want to. And even if it doesn't get any likes or any comments, you never know who's going to see it. And the best example I can give you is somebody on my team, one of my discount coaches, is Heather. And I'm just going to use her and call her out, because Heather, what I do on my post is I tag my husband all the time. And because we work our business together. So a lot of the times when I tag him, his friends see the posts. And Heather is somebody who I had not been friends with, who I don't recall ever seeing her come up on a like or on a post or on anything. But she sent me a message out of the blue, and she basically said, hi, I've been following you. I've been watching you. Her trainer was leaving. She had a group of people that worked out together, but they were all, you know, like the trainer was leaving. So she wanted to do whatever it was that I was doing. And that was just a kind of affirmation of like, you know, why I have to continue to share, because I had never had any interactions with her. And she signed up like in 2 days, and being an active, you know, business builder. And she's probably one of the most active people on my team. And again, that was somebody I had never even reached out to in the past. It was somebody that just came from, you know, me sharing my stories. And, you know, I have one other person that on my team that was like that too. She struggles a little bit, but, you know, we all do. But the point is that she came, you know, because of my posts, and she reached out to me. So that's why it's just so important to continue to share your stories, because you never know who is going to be watching you or who is going to be commenting. And I did a live video about that as well, because at Costco, I went to Costco of all places, like on a Tuesday afternoon, and one of the cashiers was a friend of mine on Facebook, a friend of a friend. So somebody that I wasn't even friends with, and she recognized me from Facebook for my videos. So even if people don't buy from you right away or join your team, you know, just to hear and get those messages that you are inspiring people. And I think Mike said it on his call. If you're getting those messages, then you're doing the right thing. You know, you are doing something right. If you're getting just people saying you inspire me, you know, like you help motivate me, even if they're saying no to you at the time, you know, it's just, as long as you know that you are getting as long as you know that you are getting those, you know, messages, then you're on the right path. So just be authentic. And then one thing I try to do also is the people that are no's, I still message and I still continue to build a relationship. Oh God, you see how he tries to, it's so funny. So so I still try to build relationships with. So there is, so for example, I have another example, just one person that I reached out to, and I was the no person. And, you know, I would just continue to build that relationship. Hey, how are you? You know, how are things going? And I had somebody that I would message, and she would tell me no. But then the way I kind of do it is every month I just say, hey, just wanted to let you know that, you know, I have this group starting. I know you said no in the past, but, you know, didn't know if, you know, that maybe this might interest you, or something like that for the next month. I have my free group that I have now, thank goodness for the advice of my partners on here. And now I just kind of plug them into, you know, and I just say, oh, okay, you know, do you want to just join my free group? And then, you know, like whatever. So I usually, most of the case, I've only had one person tell me no to my free group. But, you know, usually I just plug people in that way. But yeah, just continue, because even the no's and even the people that might be on other programs, because I have one girl who was doing one of the other programs, and I think it was Advocare or something, but she ended up joining for the on-demand. So just try not to discount or dismay, I forget the word, but, you know, like kind of push aside those people.
Disregard.
Disregard, thank you. Thank you. And I'm the teacher. Disregard. Don't tend to disregard those people, because you'll never, you know, you never know, like, what, maybe something can change their minds down the road, you know, so definitely, you know, try to keep them with you. And just be yourself, guys. I can honestly say, like, that's just, I think, the biggest thing that's changed for me in my poem, just putting a F-bomb, or like, not obviously, like, not writing the whole thing out, but like if that's how you're feeling at the time, you know, you put it there, because you want people are going to join your team because of you. They're not going to join because of Shakeology, because of this. I mean, that might be the initial reason why they join, but they're going to stay with it because of you and because of what you're doing. So just continue to be you, and continue to, you know, like, share your stories and be consistent with it. I know it's hard for me at times, especially now being back to work, I found like yesterday was crazy, and I found that I only posted one time on my social, you know, on my social media. So I was like, oh my God, I have to like figure it out and figure out, do I wake up earlier? Do I stay up later? You know, like what do I have to do to make it more consistent with that? But since doing those things, I've really tended to put more business or more tractions, more likes on my, you know, on my page, and I've tended to build up my network a little bit more. So those are just some of the things that have worked for me. And I think that might be it. Is there anything else, Tanya, that I think that I might have like missed out on?
No, that was perfect. That was perfect.
Okay.
Exactly what you've been doing. I noticed
Right.
a shift with you when you started being more authentic to you, like working out.
Right.
And you didn't care if your belly was jiggling, like, and being consistent with posting, because you were consistent with getting your workouts in. But once you started being consistent with posting and posting true to you, like you weren't worried about posting and making it sound like how other people were sharing. You were just posting and sharing your way, you know? And that's when things started shifting, when you were just being very consistent with all of that, and very consistent with the business side also, not just posting, but you were very consistent with your people, inviting your people every day. We would work side by side for hours. Like you were just consistent with the working process. And that's when you noticed that shift. So one thing.
Yeah, I think the biggest.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think the biggest like time that I noticed like with the post was the one video I did, and I literally like started by saying shout out to all like the girls with jiggle or something, or like to all my jiggle girls, because there's so, you know, like there's so many people out there that can relate to that. Like how many times do we, you know, have like, you know, like we got the jiggle, or we have like the extra, you know, like, you know, skin there, or the extra weight. And so, you know, it was just, that's what I think, that's the post I think got a lot of views. And that's when I realized, you know what, like I need to share like this more. So like whatever posts you realize that you're doing and like they're getting the most likes, the most views, like copy that, you know, like just realize, oh, this is what people want to see. This is what people want to hear. And then, you know, like, you know, copy that or mirror that. But yeah, and definitely with the business, because that's, you know, that was a problem I've always had. Always been really good about sharing socially. But then the business side is where I kind of had more of a difficulty with, you know, like writing or, you know, doing those things. Are those my, okay. So that was one of the things.
I was gonna say, I think that when you said that the post that you got the most views on, I think that you look at it that way, but if you look at it the other way, it's the posts that you were the most you. Those are the posts that get the most likes. You know what I'm saying? Those are the posts that get the most views, because that's where you're in your most natural state, and that's where you're in your most honest state. So that's why it attracts the people that you want to attract. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not because everybody wants to see your fat jiggle. You know what
I mean? Right. Yeah.
It is.
And like saying like what Al said about like schedule posts, I know something he's always like told me to do. It's hard for me to schedule posts, not because of, I know it'll save me time, but a lot of the times like my posts just come to me. Like it's not something that I like say, okay, you know what, tomorrow I'm gonna post about this. You know, I mean, some of them, yes. Like if you follow like a calendar, like I know Tanya's really good about doing Tasty Tuesdays, Thankful Thursdays, like those kind of posts. But sometimes like the other posts just are in the moment and come to me at those times. But I know I've been trying to be better about having certain posts on certain days. So that might work for some of you too. Like I know like the Tasty Tuesday, I've been trying to share more of like, you know, healthier eats and stuff like that. So having a calendar, I haven't gotten that far yet, but I know that really works for a lot of people too, like having a set calendar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny how you call it healthy eats. I do the same thing. I hashtag healthy eats all over my Instagram. Every time I put a food picture up, it's hashtag food porn and hashtag healthy eats every time.
Yeah.
When I started doing it, I'm like, that's so funny. She calls it the same thing I did. Yeah. One thing I want to piggyback, which I learned from Bonnie Engel, which helped me so much with my posting, because I noticed I was having a hard time because a lot of my posting, I was too busy reading top coaches, or I should just say coaches above me, and how they shared. And I was trying to make all my stuff sound like them, because I'm like, okay, they're doing really well in this business. They've mastered it. You know, they have their groove. So I'm going to copy their groove, because if it works for them, it's going to work for me. So a lot of my stuff, I would have it sounding like them. And I was like, God, why are they getting so much traction and I'm not? And then I went to a Super Saturday. This is before I hosted a Super Saturday. And I went to a Super Saturday, and Bonnie Engel was talking. And she said how she had the same problem. So what she started doing was, before she clicked post, she read it out loud. And if it did not sound like how she would verbally say it to someone, she changed that shit before she posted it. Like, she read it out loud, and she's like, that's not how I talk. Like, that's so not me. And that's how you're going to hear if it's you or not, by literally reading it out loud. So that's why
that's a good idea.
I use slang when I talk in my things. Like, hey, peeps, or if you want the deets, let me know, because that's how I talk. I don't say, call me and I'll give you the details. Yeah. Like, that is not how I speak. I'm like, I don't have time to say the whole word. I just abbreviate half my words when I talk. So it really helped me be more like myself when I talk. Or if I wanted to say shit, I usually say ish, because I have kids. So now I just capitalize ish on my posts, and people know what I'm talking about, because that's how I talk. So that was such a big change for me, of reading it out loud. And you're going to sound funny. You're going to feel like everyone's looking at you if you're with people. But I will read it out loud, or I'll even hand my phone to Alex before I click post. I'm like, read this. Does it sound like me? Because sometimes it's hard to reread your own thing. And he'll read it. I'll be like, oh yeah, that's perfect. That's so like you. So that was a big help for me. So if you want to make sure you're being authentic to you, read your post out loud. Read it out loud and act like you're talking to your best friend, not just how you would talk to a group of people, because you change a little bit on how you present yourself if you're standing up in front of a group of people and talking. I, however, don't. I do Super Saturdays and I still act like my goofy, weird self. But some people will change when they're in front of a group. But visualize yourself talking to like your best friend about it, or talking to your spouse about something. And that's how your post should read. That's how your post should come across, because that is the authentic, true you, because you show your true person to those people. Al, you're a little inappropriate. And then that's how you should post, because that's going to be your tribe and your track. Because I am super inappropriate, as you guys know, because all of you guys have hung out with me in very private settings, and I am very inappropriate. I dial some of that inappropriateness back when I post on Facebook. But that is one thing that truly, truly helped me. When she said that, I was like, oh, that's what I need to do. And another thing I did is I stopped following a lot of those top coaches.
Yeah, that's something that I have heard people say, like, to stop following, because then you end up basically copying them, and like you want to be true to yourself. So I've heard that too.
Yeah. So I stopped following a lot of them. Like, I'll always follow Lindsay Matway, but that's because her and I had a connection. Like, we Facebook message and chat about like life stuff, not just business stuff. So I stay following her, but a lot of the other ones I don't really follow. Like, I'll like their like page and follow their like page, because sometimes I'll get ideas of, oh, that was a great idea for an ad that they ran. Or I like the way that they ran that ad about the UK, or you know what I mean? Things like that. But I'll follow their like pages sometimes, but I don't like, I'm not friends with a lot of them on Facebook anymore, because I felt like it was taking away my authenticness, because their posts are posts that I would always see, or I would go on their wall to see how they would share things. And I share however, like whatever pops in my mind at that time, to share my journey. But I really think that was a big change for me, of reading it out loud. Reading it out loud, like I would read it and think of like how I would, whatever I was trying to say, how I would say it on this team call to all of you guys. How I would talk when I would say those things. You know what I mean? So that really, really helped me a lot. I'm just reading some of the chats here. Michelle says she's definitely nervous about going back to school to work and not having time to do everything. I know. I can tell you that I built the beginning of my business working full-time at my mom's office. So what I did is I woke up like 20 minutes early in the morning to clear out notifications, check in with my challenge groups, and a few things like that. And then my lunch break was all Beachbody work. Feels sneeze coming up.
Oh, bless you.
Okay. Thank you. There's another one in there. I can feel it. Tara totally like blessed me. So I don't know, Michelle, is your nervousness coming from not knowing if you're going to be able to do the business, or the fact that you don't think you're going to be able to get your workouts and stuff in?
I think it's all of it, and just being a mom to, the kids when they go back to school, the sports and everything, because from the time I get up, before I was doing anything in the morning till, 10 o'clock at night, it's like nonstop.
Yep. That's my life. That's my life too. Soccer field, taking this one here, taking this one there.
So I think that you should, do you know about Post Planner and those type of things, Michelle?
Now I'm also starting a new job. So at my old job, I could kind of, be on my phone a little bit and be doing a couple of things. But I also don't want to lose track of the people that I have been in touch with every day that are on my team now, because they look forward to me saying, hey, how's it going today? So, right. I mean, everyone understands, some people that work at schools are going back or whatever. But I've just been working so hard over the summer to get it up and running, hoping I didn't have to go back.
Right, you don't want to lose that momentum. I told her how you feel. Right. Christina's feeling the same way. She's like, I have such good momentum over the summer. And take everything in pockets. Like, you don't have to do a power hour for one straight hour. You can do 10-minute pockets of it, So if you have like a 10-minute little area, answer some messages in those 10 minutes and just do little pockets of stuff. But there's websites, there's Post Planner. I would tell you Hootsuite, but I find Hootsuite posts don't show. That's why I stopped using it. But there's a website called Post Planner, which I could show you how to use it, if you want. But it's pretty self-explanatory. But you can schedule some of your posts that way you don't lose stuff. And that might help you with a little time management. In groups now, you could schedule posts in groups.
Excuse me.
Right on Facebook, so you can utilize that to post in any of your groups. So you can schedule like a whole week out over the weekend. And you might find that you might need to do it before you do work on the weekend. Like if you're sitting at the sports field and it's just warm-up time, you could probably answer back most of your messages while the kids are doing their warm-up. That's what I do before my daughter's soccer game starts. They're doing the warm-up, my face is my phone, I'm answering messages. You just have to find the little pockets of time, which I could help you, one-on-one, try to figure out schedule. That's one thing.
Yeah, that Post Planner really does help, because at least it'll give you basic posts so you are appearing. So then if you have something that falls on your heart, then you could post that one, and that'll just be an extra one.
Right.
But at least you'll have the consistency that you need to be appearing.
Right.
Tanya, maybe that could be our
it's
first
already scheduled for a call. That, Instagram training, Snapchat training, Facebook Live, like pages, running ads, all of that is already written for the next 2 months in my planner. I want these trainings more of, like these calls, more of showing you guys the tools that I use for my business to help with time management, to help with growing my business and all that kinds of stuff, so you guys can see what I actually use to help me. One thing I can say is I'm very OCD with time management scheduling. So if anybody needs help with looking at their schedule, I know it's something Tara and I go over it all the time on the weekly calls, and we revamp her schedule and until we find what works. So I am willing to help anybody go over to find pockets of where you can do, okay, in this pocket, like we just revamped Tara's to where she's going to do her Team Z in one spot, and then she found the different pocket of where she can go through her back office. That way she can make sure she's connecting with all the people she wants to connect with in a day. You're going to find throughout this business, because of the way life is, you're going to be changing your time schedule a million times. I don't know how many times I have changed mine. Like my summer schedule is totally different than my school schedule when the kids are in school. So you're going
Wasn't it Scotty Hobbs that he started doing all this like 2 o'clock in the morning is when he was messaging people?
Yeah, from from midnight to like 2, 3 o'clock is when he used to do his business hours. So he would send messages to people on Facebook then, and they would not get an answer back from him until the next night at like midnight. So he would answer all his messages and he would let them go all day, and look at how successful he is. So that's one thing I know we feel we got to answer these people right away. But you have to set your business hours and stick to it, or you will feel like you're going bananas and you'll feel like you're doing this business all day long. If you don't set these little times or set your little pockets, stick to that pocket and then be done with it. And find your little groove and find your little pockets. But yeah, he worked his business in the middle of the night because he was working. He worked a job and then he came home and had a family. So what he did was he sacrificed sleep for those few hours and he stayed up when nobody else was up and he would do his stuff. Now he gets up.
With 76 kids, you got to do something, right?
Right. He's got he has 1 million kids. He had a full-time job. So he sacrificed, he sacrificed a few hours of sleep. And he was
even sacrificing his haircut right now.
Yes.
Oh my God. I was so going to say something too.
Yeah. So now he's at the point with his business.
I'm personally offended by it.
Now he's at the point in his business where he doesn't have to worry about sacrificing any of that stuff. He gets up in the morning. He does his reading while his kids are getting ready for the day. And he does it with the kids now. They get up and they all do their personal development and reading and affirmations together. They go outside and do some meditation. He made it a family thing so that way they can all do it. So we have to sacrifice at the beginning so we don't have to worry about the sacrifices later.
So just for the people that don't know, those sacrifices that Scotty made has allowed him to buy a house in Maui that he spent 8 weeks in with his entire family. So
his first big
it's all worth it.
He paid off his mortgage. And then now he has another home. And he bought into one of those, he bought a house for the team to have team retreats at before he bought the house in Maui, in Idaho Falls.
Yep.
He was a big thing. So those sacrifices have made where he is now. But if you want it bad enough, you just have to be willing to make those sacrifices.
Yes. And sorry, Scotty, if you see this on YouTube, but get a haircut.
But get a haircut.
Oh my.
So it all starts with the consistency. You have to consistently be showing up on people's news feeds. So if something like Post Planner, a tool like Post Planner can help you with that, I use it. Hey, fighting over toys. I use it to schedule certain posts that I want to make sure, when I know what challenge groups I have coming up, I will sit down one day and schedule them for the entire month of when I want them to pop up on my newsfeed before that challenge group comes up. And in that way, it's out of my mind. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about posting about when my thing is. And what I found with Post Planner is it definitely shows up in the newsfeed because my crock pot one, people are still posting on it, and it was already the final day for them to join. Yeah. When I use Hootsuite, it never
Planner, your stuff. I see a lot.
Yeah. So Hootsuite, don't use. Post Planner is the best one. Hootsuite, for some reason, I don't know why, but on Facebook, hardly ever shows in the newsfeed. I used to use that one. And I want to say Post Planner was maybe $1 more than Hootsuite. It's so worth it because it actually shows up. So, yeah, Hootsuite works better for Twitter. It definitely does, but not for Facebook at all. I'm just reading some of these that we'll see.
Tanya, I was on Griffin. I was going to stop by your house.
You should have. My dad and Alex are outside doing Kale's oil change. Look at the dog.
I had to pick up my sister's dog so she'll watch Lucy tonight and tomorrow so I can go down to the Keys. I'm like, okay, done. I'll pick him up.
Exactly. Yep. Does anybody have any questions for Christina on her topic with consistency, or questions for me or anybody? No, everyone's good. Everyone on here stays pretty consistent, but I think it was a great topic for Christina to talk about because when she started the consistency with the business, she noticed such a shift in the business. And I know this is going to be the hard part now because in the summer it was easier to be consistent with it because that was the only thing you had to focus on. So I know
when my brother had his party, so there's a couple people there that I'm friends with on Facebook, and one is like, I always watch your stuff. I'm always liking it. And I'm thinking, like, I don't ever recall you liking it, but whatever. Like, you're seeing it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one, she gets the shakes, like, she, you know, once in a while. Like, when she really, like, wants to, like, drop, like, 5 pounds, whatever, she'll get the shakes. And she's like, but every time I see your workouts, you make me feel so bad. She's like, because it makes me want to go work out, but I can't work out. But it's funny.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. If you don't have a lot of traction on your post, a lot of people liking, a lot of people commenting, feel free to reach out to other people on the team and say, hey, I posted my workout, but it's not like really getting a lot of engagement. Can you like or comment? When somebody likes or comments, it pushes it back up to the top of the newsfeed as if you just posted it. So maybe the time you posted it wasn't a good time, but if people go back in later and like or comment, it helps push it back up there. So
that's why Al always laughs, because sometimes I'll take his computer and I'll just comment as him.
That's
and he's like, why did you write that comment? I'm like, I need traction on my posts.
But don't forget, if people aren't liking and if they're not commenting, they're still watching. I think some people might be afraid to like or comment because then they think we're going to say, hey, why aren't you doing this? You know, we're going to call them out on their laziness.
Come on, go
Right.
again.
Yep. So I really think, like, reach out to the team. That's what we try to do for each other a lot. Like, I try to go on everybody's wall and, like, kind of scroll through their walls and like and comment and like and comment. You have to sound like me, not some weirdo.
You know why? Because I make like lovey-dovey posts. Like, oh,
That's
great
not
job, babe. He doesn't talk like that.
I know. I know. Oh.
So funny.
That is funny. But yeah, feel free to reach out. Like, if you feel like it's a post, like, because there's sometimes, you know, you do a good post and you're like, damn, that post was good. It's going to get a lot of traction. And only like one person liked it. And you're like, what the hell? So just feel free to reach out and we'll comment and we'll like. And like, what I'll do sometimes is, like, if the girls ask me to go on and like or comment, I'll like it. And then I'll do a mental note, like, in the next hour to go back and comment on it. So it brings it back up again. So it's as if I did something on it twice. It's just a little Facebook trick. And now I don't know if you guys have noticed, but now Instagram is doing that. You'll see things at the top of your Instagram feed that was like 15 hours ago. And that's because somebody was liking or commenting on it. So just to kind of give you guys that little tip. But we're going to have a lot more calls on, like, different social medias and which ones to do what with in order to get your things really seen a little bit more. Some tips on like pages and things like that. But that's kind of what I want these calls to be more of, our normal candid chat, but more of like showing you guys some tools that I've been using. And then you guys will hear from other people on the team of things that they've implemented that have been working for them, and things like that. So I'm going to try to get some other guest speakers on the call as well. Does anybody have any other questions before we end our call? Everyone's good? All right, let me stop.